California bans gas cars. Not going to ban, bans gas cars. California regulators approve banning new gas car sales. In the Daily Wire, and you've also seen it on the news programs, and you've seen it, by the way, on all of them, the left and right news programs. Left, of course, MSNBC, CNN, think it's a great idea. California regulators have approved a plan to ban the sale of new gasoline-powered vehicles by 2035 in a Thursday vote. So here's my first question before even going on in the article, Chris. You have a gas-powered vehicle. You live in Texas. You drive a lot in Texas because there are vast open areas. You would like to go to California with your SUV and take your dog and your family on a vacation. Why to California? I have no idea, but that's what you want to do. So you go there to California in your SUV and you get there. Where do you buy gas for your vehicle? Where do you buy gasoline? So obviously, if you have a gasoline station in California, or you have a gasoline station chain in California, you're certainly not going to open up any more gasoline stations. In fact, you're going to start converting what you already have to electric EV stations. So you might have a convenience store and a gas station. We see them all over the country, but you're going to get rid of the gas. Why wouldn't you? Because California is saying we're not going to allow any more, cars that operate off of gas to be sold in California anymore. So therefore, everybody in California will own an EV. But why would then anyone, and here's the question, why would anyone travel to California in their gasoline-powered car if you can't buy gasoline? Or you have to worry about even finding a place to buy it. Maybe there are places that will still sell gasoline. There probably will be. But how will you know where they are? I mean, one could have just closed. It might be on Google Maps. Hey, here's where you could buy gasoline in California. And then that place just closes. The California Air Resource Board's CARB rules will go into effect at incremental levels in 2026 before building to a 100% ban of new car gas sales in 2035. The state's move will likely affect the rest of the country since it sits as the largest automaker in the U.S. What? Oh, okay, I guess what they mean is more people in California buy cars because it's such a large population than anywhere in the U.S., and then since everybody in California who buys a car will then from 2035 forward have to buy just EVs and no gasoline-powered cars, then the rest of the U.S. is going to have to just bend over and take it? Quote, "This is monumental," CARB member Daniel Sperling told CNN. "This is the most important thing the CARB has done in the last 30 years. It's important not just for California, it's important for the country and for the world." The ban, which becomes one of the first of its kind in the world, was proposed by the California Air Resources Board, otherwise known as CARB, in April to achieve Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom's goal of reducing emissions by eliminating the sale of new gas cars by 2035. Once again, Governor Newsom, he wants to decide what kind of medicine you must take. He wants to decide whether you can go on a beach and whether you have to wear a mask when you're on a beach during the pandemic. Governor Newsom wants to decide and tell you that you can't have your Second Amendment rights. And Governor Newsom wants to decide what you can and can't eat. And now Governor Newsom wants to decide what kind of vehicle you must drive. California's plan to eliminate the sale of gas-powered vehicles by the middle of the next decade also carries with it benchmarks to hit along the way. Under the plan, California requires 35% of new vehicles sold to produce zero emissions by 2026. So more than a third of vehicles sold in just a couple of years must be non-gasoline-powered cars, jumping to 68% by 2030, and then finally hitting 100% of cars in 2035. Used cars would not be affected by the plan. So I'm just curious, Chris, how's that going to work? So let's say in California, you've got 45 million people, and there are 35 million used cars that will be in existence in 2035. Well, then what? I mean, where will you get gas? Wouldn't gasoline go up in price? And that's the whole point of this. What'd you say?
I feel like people sell gas are just going to leave the state. They're not even going to try and switch over to electric infrastructure. They just leave.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen too, because any strong economy gives the people that live in that economy, especially in a free society, by the way, but a strong economy in a free society basically says you decide what you want to buy. You decide what technology you want to adopt and purchase. And then, let the market win. And it's funny? People are very rational. They will always buy that product that is the best product and also the cheapest product at the same time. They want to get the most that they can possibly get for the money that they're spending. That's how a rational consumer acts. But the government in California no longer trusts consumers. They no longer could trust the free market. This is the way. This is the way, which is just like the 5-year plan in the CCP and the 5-year plan in the former Soviet Union. This is the way. There's no deviating from this plan. There's no freedom of choice. This is exactly who the Democrats are, certainly in California above anywhere else. Experts looked at the ban to accelerate the transition to electric vehicles, a desire expressed by President Joe Biden in an executive order last year that encouraged the government to push for half of all vehicles sold in the U.S., that is, by 2030, to be electric. So, folks, if you really wonder what the modern Democrat Party thinks about you, they think that you're too stupid to make the choices that are best for you and your family. And therefore, they must constantly engage in one diktat after another to tell you how you should live every aspect of your lives. And as you've heard me say many times, climate change is about control of every aspect of your life. And that is exactly what they're doing in California. And that's the dumbest bill in America. California bans gas cars. And that's it for Mark and the Millennials. Thank you for joining Mark and the Millennials. This is Mark Fisher. Thank you to our producer, Christopher Hopkins. Check us out on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Getter, True Social, Rumble, and our website. See you next time.